Hey, what is up everyone, it is IM.Mvp, and once again I'm going to be casting another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm game. This time it's actually going to be part of the ASRock Mate, or M8 series, featuring a very special player. So right now, let's introduce our players. It is of course going to be spawning on the bottom left hand side of Derelict Watcher. It is XR5's PiG. And in the top right hand corner, known as the King of Terran, you may know him from such other series as the WCS EU series as a whole. It is IM.Mvp. Now you may be wondering, holy crap, you managed to get an MVP game? What happened? Well, this is the ASRock Mate, or M8, sort of tournament, not so much a tournament, more as a bunch of show matches between Australians and MVP. So obviously XR5's PiG here to represent Australia in this ZVT. This is going to be a very interesting and intriguing game as I bring up the production tab right now. We'll see what happens from both players. Now, standard ZVT suggests that the Zerg player, i.e. PiG, is most likely going to go for an early expansion at the start, and of course then we'll proceed to try and build up as many Lings, Banelings, and Mutalisks. So let's see if he decides to play standard or decides to switch it up a little bit. Meanwhile, we should be seeing Biomine coming out from MVP very soon in what seems to be a rather stale to watch matchup. It's quite fun to play because there's a lot of micro that is required in this matchup, especially with the Mutalisks against those Widowmines. You don't want to fly them above those the Widowmines at all, otherwise all your Mutas are going to die. Meanwhile, we now have the spawning pool coming down. It's interesting to see spawning pool before gas. I personally usually go for the gas before pool so that I can get speed up as quickly as possible, but maybe PiG wants to go for queens a little bit more earlier than say me, so that's fine. Meanwhile, we do have the not so early gas coming down for MVP, so both players going for more economically based builds, I guess. It does mean, at least for MVP, that Reapers won't be coming down anytime soon. There's just not enough gas for that kind of thing. We do have the two queens popping out right now for PiG, and we do have a little bit of harass from that SCV, ready to like drill a few holes into those drones. But of course, those drones do manage to scare him away just a little bit. This SCV actually managing to get a lot of scouting information. He now knows that the spawning pool is done. I think if MVP was paying attention, he would notice that there is something happening in the hatchery, which of course would be a queen being produced at this point in time. I mean, there's no reason for PiG to do anything else but make a queen. It doesn't even have gas to do anything other than that, so there's no mind games that are going to be involved right now. It looks like this queen going to make the long trek across this sort of area, which is of course off creep, which is why the queen is moving so bloody slowly. So it looks like PiG ready to make 6 queens and getting the creep spread to go as quickly as possible, which is a very good idea. What's not such a good idea, I think, is perhaps not getting his gas that quickly, but maybe he does have a reason for doing so. Because you gotta remember, even though Zerg don't really rely on gas all that much, they still need gas for things like speed, for things like roaches, because slow Lings, in fact, are not going to do anything against Marines. So right now, MVP is, he's already got the factory, so he's taking up pretty fast. Meanwhile, he's actually getting a 3rd command center, so he's actually going to play very greedily, or a very greedy game. Let's see if it pans out for him, as we do have the 3rd hatchery coming down right now for PiG, and I think that's actually in response to seeing the 3rd command center being built at this point in time. If we look at PiG cam, or that's MVP cam, if you look at PiG cam, yes, he does know that the command center has been building for quite some time. Now we have 10 drones coming out for PiG right now, which means his economy is actually going to skyrocket very soon. But unfortunately, he doesn't actually have any units right now. Could he be doing the Spanishiwa build, where you just build nothing but drones and maybe 2 Lings at most? until you reach 44 supply, and then start to build units. Although he has actually surpassed that 44 supply, he should be starting to build links. He is starting to get his speed now. That's actually a really delayed speed. I personally don't particularly like delayed speed, to be honest, because I think you need the Lings to have a little bit more of a map control against things such as Hellions. Of course, Lings are not going to be able to do all too much against Hellions, especially slow Lings, but fast Lings at least can try and scare Hellions away for just a little bit. Of course, as you can see, these two Hellions are already going to be able to roast away that Ling, although surprisingly enough, it takes 3 shots from Hellions to take out Lings, so good to know, I guess. The more you know, the more you know. But right now, this Queen is of course going to scare away these Hellions. These Hellions cannot take on these Queens yet. More and more Queens being produced from PiG. This is actually going to be really good for his creep spread, and also any transfuses that may come later on. And these Hellions are just going to have to back out for right now, although they could actually be able to take out these 2 Queens, although so many Hellions are going to be taken out as a result for just 2 Queens. And we do have the transfuse already, which means PiG able to sort of run away. He needs to try and use these Lings to distract those Hellions. One actually goes down, so that's actually a really good engagement there for PiG. And so of course MVP is going to park his Hellions outside right now. It's a really good idea to try and contain the Zerg player as much as you can, as you try and tech up to... Well, it looks like he's not actually doing Biomine right now, which is actually pretty surprising. I would have thought for first game both players would try and play standard to try and get that first win, because once you get that first win, the second game... This is a best of 3, by the way. I probably should have said that earlier. All games in this sort of tournament thingo, tournament show match thing, it's best of 3s. So yeah, as I was saying, in a best of 3, you want to get that first game you want to get that first victory, so that you can sort of like play, so that you can have something to fall back on should you accidentally mess up in the second game. Right now, both players are actually not playing as standardly as I would have thought, although we do have the Spire already coming down. Does he have the Baneling Nest as well? Yes, PiG does have the Baneling Nest, so he is actually going to play standard right now. Ling Bane Muta is going to be the way to go, trying to get all the fast units to deal a lot of damage in multi-prong attacks. Meanwhile, we do have a couple of starports. We also have a stack load of barracks, so it looks like actually it looks like MVP is actually going to go for Marine Medevac. Possibly. Are those Medevacs? Yes, they are. We do have Medevacs coming out, so it looks like MVP not playing as standard as not as standard as ZVT. Maybe he's changing things up a little bit. I don't think he's seen the Spire yet, because the Spire has actually just come down. You know, he has not seen the Spire yet, so he doesn't know that Mutalisks are actually going to be a threat. But right now, Mutalisks are not going to be able to do too much, at least not front on, because of so many Marines. However, they can swoop in and do quite a lot of economic damage. There's no missile turrets at all in MVP's base. I don't think, no, there's none. The only defense for this base, of course, is this bunker. Should be able to do quite a bit of damage, but not as much as a missile turret if placed in the right position. And actually, that's actually quite a lot of creep tumors. That's actually really good creep spread for PiG right now, and MVP needs to make sure that his attack goes completely unnoticed. But right now, PiG is about to know, because the creep spread does show that there are units coming in to his base, so he needs to get ready with his units, and he's got a couple of Banelings right there. Should be able to soften up most of the units. But here comes the huge attack right now from PiG. It's going to be a massive counter attack, and of course these Medevacs need to run away right now. MVP of course knows that there are mutants. These Medevacs have actually run out of their boosters, so these Marines need to try and get in and save the day. We do have 2 Widow Mines now, so it looks like the standard unit composition for both places is about to come in, and we do have not so great Widow Mine shots from those Widow Mines right there. So luckily for PiG, his mutants seem to have stayed alive. I think he lost all his Banelings before those Widow Mine shots. And when I say lost Banelings, obviously not necessarily lost to, say, getting killed, but more or less lost to killing Marines, which is what you want to lose your Banelings to. Very useful to do so. Right now, both players gearing up. They're actually within similar supply, so that's pretty good for them. Actually, they're quite similar in. I think that says 89, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So they're actually almost the same in army supply as well, which means both players doing pretty well right there. Although I think at this point, actually, yeah, Pig right now with a slight advantage in the melee upgrades, but of course his mutas are unupgraded. They've only got one +1 attack. I think a lot of Zerg players need to consider maybe go for +2, +3, etc., to make sure that they can break through 3/3 Marines when that comes. It usually does come, I think, before the 20-minute mark. In fact, it should be coming after about. Well, it should be coming in about a few seconds now. The upgrade should begin. More and more banelings being produced right now. More and more mutas being produced as well. Right now, I'm not sure what Pig is trying to do here. He's got a little bit of creep right there, and he's got this sort of ground army right here as well. But right now, I think that was a Widowmine shot that managed to splash on a lot of those mutas, so they have to move away right now. They definitely can't take out this bunker anytime soon, especially since there are 4 Marines right there to deal a lot of damage. Like, they can take it out, but it's just not efficient at all to do so. And right now we have a force here trying to take out these creep tumors, make sure that Pig's vision is lower. But right now there's so many units, and these Marines are not going to be able to survive against all of those mutas, especially. And actually, 4 Widowmines or 5 Widowmines actually losing their shots already, which means those mutas can actually come in and deal a lot of damage. Meanwhile, we do actually have a small force right there. It's actually taking out a lot of those, a lot of the workers, I think. In fact, okay, managed to take out quite a few workers, but clearly not enough if we look at the units lost tab. It's actually 18 workers lost to just 1 SCV, so right now that's actually really, really good for Pig. Not Pig, really, really good for MVP. And I'm getting pins and needles on my foot, and I don't know why. So it's weird. Okay. And oh no! We lost a lot of those mutas to those Widow Mines. That's actually going to be catastrophic for Pig right now. But unfortunately, with just pure Marine, these Banelings should be able to deal quite a lot of damage. And here come even more Marines, and they need to run away. I think. Actually, the split for MVP is actually pretty good, but right now there's just so many Banelings that I think all those Marines are going to die. However, you want to be as efficient as you can with every unit, of course, because obviously every unit is pretty precious. And now we have a bunch of Lings right here. I'm not sure if this is a mistake from Pig. We'll find out soon enough, but there's actually quite a lot of Marines. And here they come now, and they're going to try and do as much damage as they can to this army. And of course, if these Banelings are positioned properly, he's got a bit of a split going right now, and here comes the Banelings. They're going to try and do as much damage as they can to these Marines, and here comes another force of Marines. There's actually so many Marines. I think we should be seeing a GG anytime soon now. But right now, a lot of these Lings are trying to kill off these Marines. These Marines have just got way too many in number, and of course right now Pig needs to retreat. The mutas are not going to do anything at this point in time. There's just way too many of them. He needs to try and get them to bunch up, and these Banelings are just taking way too long to build. And here they come now. They're going to actually try and explode from the egg. Can they actually get in there? Yes, they can. Quite a few good hits right there. The mutas not able to actually clean them up right now, so that's a little bit of a shame. Bit unfortunate right there. And here comes the Marines now. They're going to try and just stim to win. They're going to try and take out the natural as well. And it looks like Pig is actually in a lot of trouble right now. More and more Marines and Widow Mines are streaming in, as this army is just going to be completely overwhelming. It's already 180 supply to 110. Looks like MVP is actually going to win this round, as remember, this is part of a best of 3, and actually, he does actually lose a lot of those Marines, so he needs to run away with those medevacs. But of course, he can't just go F2 all in at this point in time, and he's going to win. And there it is, GG from XR5 Pig, as he has lost. And oh, that's right, the casters didn't leave. So yeah, that was a pretty fun game, and hopefully we'll find out what happens in round 2. So until then, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more StarCraft 2 action, specifically, well, a lot more StarCraft 2 action now. Follow me on Twitter at Magician88, and you can also follow me on twitch.tv/Magician88, where I stream rarely, quite rarely. And yeah, alright, so until then, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.